When the Soviet Union ended in 1991, the United States literally believed this is now a U.S. world and we will do as we want. The wars in the Middle East, Serbia, the wars in Africa, these are wars that the United States led and caused. And this has been true for more than 40 years. Europe has not had any foreign policy during this period that I can figure out. No voice, no unity, no clarity, only American loyalty. Please don't have American officials as head of Europe. Have European officials. Have a European foreign policy. You're going to be living with Russia for a long time, so please negotiate with Russia. Trump and President Putin will agree to end the war. If Europe does all its great warmongering, it doesn't matter. The war is ending. Not one word is told to the American people about anything, or to you, or by any of your newspapers these days. This idea that Putin's reconstructing the Russian Empire, this is childish propaganda. So the war started. What was Putin's intention in the war? I can tell you what his intention was. When Zelensky said in 7 days, let's negotiate, I know the details of this exquisitely. I flew to Ankara to listen in detail to what the mediators were doing. Ukraine walked away unilaterally from a near agreement. Why? Because the United States told them to. I begged the Ukrainians, and I had a track record with the Ukrainians. I advised the Ukrainians. I'm not anti-Ukrainian, I'm pro-Ukrainian completely. I said, save your lives, save your sovereignty, save your territory, be neutral. Don't listen to the Americans. I repeated to them the famous adage of Henry Kissinger, that to be an enemy of the United States is dangerous, but to be a friend is fatal.
This war in Ukraine, I really don't care how you look at it. That war was never supposed to happen. It was not a necessary war. You can disagree here all you want, but we all know there is no way Russia is going to lose to Ukraine. The Russians will do everything to keep that war as long as possible. If we do not get to negotiating and find peace for the people of Ukraine, they're only going to suffer more casualties and lose more land. But one thing I never really understand when I look at all these proxy wars around the world is why any leader will let their sovereignty be the ground zero for any proxy war. When two superpowers are fighting over something, do not offer your independent sovereignty for them to use. Do not do that. If they want to fight each other, let them go head on. Don't be in the middle. Ukraine should be a big example, because the wars that happen in Africa, in the Middle East, well, most of the Europeans and Americans never really paid attention to that. Now you have paid attention to one of those wars, which is happening in Ukraine right now. You have seen what is going on in Ukraine. You have seen it. So now you know when we talk about proxy wars, we talk about two superpowers going head on. Learn from this and never let it happen again. Learn from this and never let it happen again. I repeat that. This war in Ukraine was never supposed to happen. There are some wars that we look at and we're like, okay, this war is necessary for the future stability, growth of this nation. This one was not necessary. It was not needed at all.